In this video, we are going to talk about 10 skills you need to succeed in a software role. Let's get started. So, if you plan to work as a software engineer or developer, a software architect, a technical lead, or even an engineering manager, then these skills, which I'm going to talk about now, can benefit you greatly. These are also useful if you are working in one of these roles already and you feel a bit lost. You're not sure what are the skill sets you need to succeed at the workplace. I mean, there are so many things to learn end of the day. So how do you go about it? Right. So the first one is problem solving skills. What do we mean by problem solving skills? So end of the day, a company hires you to solve some problems, right? How effectively you can do that can actually determine your level of success. So thing is, like, if you see effective problem solvers, then how do they approach problem solving, right? They'll take a problem, they'll try to break it into sub problems, and then try to attack those sub problems, right? And then eventually solve the whole problem. They'll also take help if needed, discuss things. But yeah, this skill is something that you need to develop over a period of time. Maybe each day you can spend some time to solve a problem or two, and not just yours. Talk to others what issues they are facing and try to see if you can help them out as well. But this is a very crucial skill to succeed at any company and probably life in general. The second one is about software development lifecycle, SDLC. So each piece of software or any product that you work on goes through a process, right? It goes through a cycle, and that's what the development life cycle is about. Now, if you know about the life cycle and you know each step of the life cycle and its importance, then that will help you to succeed and also help you to build a great product. Each step is important. So what are those steps? Let's look at the steps. The first one is requirement gathering. So you first need to understand what you are trying to build, why you are trying to build, right? If you don't know the problem statement, then I think first step is get clarity on that. Second step is design and architecture. So this is a very important step in the life cycle of a product, because here you identify how you are actually going to build the product or build the requirement, right? And this requires, I mean, you may have to go back and forth to understand the requirements and then figure out what can be the best approach. The next step is actual coding, right? So you build the software um, as per the guidelines, as per the architecture, using the tech stack that you guys agree with or that is the preferred tech stack of the company. So coding is the next step in the life cycle. And once you are done with that, then you have to test whether things are working fine or not. Once testing is complete, then you go to the deployment phase, where you actually deploy the software and people can start to use it. And then it goes into the maintenance mode. So these are the steps in the SDLC. And as you can see, each step is important, to build a successful product. Now, agile methodology has become quite popular uh, because of the fact that it encourages small iterations. So you have iterations, like small weekly, bi-weekly iteration in which you go through all the life cycle steps to build some small piece of the eventual software, right? To build pieces of software in iterations. This helps you to get quick feedback on the product you're building. So become familiar, because this is being used across many organizations, right? Because this is leading to successful product delivery. So become familiar with agile. The next skill I want to talk about is data structures. Data structures are actually very important, uh, because of the fact that eventually when you are writing code, right, you need to make decision on where do you want to store the data. So you want to use a array, a list, a map. What do you want to use? So you need to understand the pros and cons of each data structure. Like, For example, if you take the case of Facebook, right, you have a um, social connection between people. So there may be a graph data structure may make more sense. So you need to figure out what's the right data structure, and for that you need to understand what are the different data structures available. So spend time in learning about data structures. It'll go a long way to help you build good quality products. Okay. The next one is, of course, the programming language. Now, you need to code the software, right? And to code, you need a programming language. Now, each company has its own preference. I mean, it depends on the use case. It depends upon what the developers are using to build the product. So, I won't go into which language. It's but if you're looking for an option, like which language can you learn to enter the job market, I think JavaScript and Python are pretty popular. So you can start by learning one of those and learn them well, practice a lot. Okay, take time. Next skill is coding principles and patterns. So this is actually very important, guys. Now there is a difference between a good and a great coder, right? And it's about how they write the code, how easily you can understand the code written by someone, how easy it is to maintain it, right? How buggy it is. End of the day, if you write some code and there are a lot of defects, that will create a problem, right, for the company. So principles are important, and I think every software developer should learn how to write good software. There's a book, you may have heard about that, Code Complete, in which Steve talks about code quality and standards. Because not writing good software results in wasted man hours and buggy code. So developers spend sprints fixing defects, which impact not just the timelines but also morale of the team. Right. So learn to write great software. Follow the guidelines, the principles, the practices, like test-driven approach. Right. That's one of the examples. So you write unit tests, which helps to catch the bugs early, catch the defects early, things like that. The next skill is familiarity with front end and back end development concepts. Now, as a software engineer, your focus may be on the front end, back end, or both. Depends on your skill sets and area of interest. But even if you are a front end engineer, it helps to be familiar with back end engineering concepts and vice versa. These days, full stack developers are in high demand. Front end can mean, using a library or a framework like React or Next. Backend can mean using something like Node or Java, Python, like some framework, and then building APIs, working with databases. So it's good to understand all the concepts and become a master of one, maybe. And as time progresses, you can become a master of both, right? So, but you should be familiar with these concepts. And similarly, if you are a mobile app developer, you should be good at, say, Android or iOS or React Native. Like, but yeah, and understand the big picture as well. Which is maybe working with the APIs, working with the databases. Just understand the concepts. The next one is pretty important: familiarity with continuous integration and continuous delivery. Now, the code you write needs to be shipped to higher environments for testing, like QA, UAT, production, right? Continuous and integration and development have become buzzwords given their importance in the product lifecycle. Through CICD, the code gets shipped to production faster without manual intervention. It's all automated. You write some code, and that's it. You click a button and it gets deployed to your QA environment, right, where someone can go in and test. And on another click, it may go to the production environment. So whatever you build gets shipped faster, which is why this is so much important. And you should try and spend some time in understanding CI/CD, the concepts around it. Jenkins is very popular to set up CI/CD process, so I'll encourage reading about it. Next one is familiarity with cloud. Now, chances are pretty high that the company you work with has already moved to cloud or is planning to do so, because I mean that's where most of the companies are going right now. So having a basic understanding of the terminologies and principles like cloud concepts will give you an edge for sure, right? Be it Amazon Web Services, Azure, or Google. I mean, try to get familiar with the concepts, with the terminologies. So once you join a company, or if you're already working there, you can talk to people, understand your infrastructure, maybe help someone fix a bug, right? And that will take you long, way ahead. The next one is important: ability to learn things. Now there's so many things to learn, and it's changing at a very fast pace, right? That's why you need to continuously be on the path of learning. So your company may be using a lot of tools, frameworks. So spend some time to learn about the tools, to learn about the frameworks, what's new in engineering or in technology, and that will be great for you, right? You'll become the go-to person for anyone in your company. The next is communication skills, which is actually important. Given the need to discuss and communicate your ideas at workplace, having good communication skills can be of great asset. Like, I'll give you a simple example. You may do some work and then you have to demo the work, or you have to give some presentation. Now, if you can clearly articulate what you're thinking or what you want to present, that'll, I mean, give you a lot of confidence, right? And that will give confidence to the people who are listening to you as well, if you can communicate your ideas clearly. So, and in particular, if you are in some leadership role, right, then it becomes all the more important. So start by working on your communication skills. Gradually you will start to improve. And with that, it's end of this, you know session. I hope these tips or these skills that I've shared will help you to succeed in the current role, right? All the best.